I knew that I knew nothing. LBS has been able to make me a better person. At my place of work, I now know how to make use of the talents around me and bring out the best in them. Before I went into LBS, there was a staff in my branch I was really mad with. I didn't know how to handle her. In fact, I even told the faculty before coming in. And within 6 months into my training, and I knew her strengths, so I wasn't judging her based on her weaknesses. As we speak, she's a star performer in the branch. She's the one carrying the branch, and she's doing extremely well.
Having the experience in LBS was a mindset shift, and I'll say in a number of ways. You know, for every lecture, every class you attend, it goes beyond just teaching. There's a deliberate focus to make you see things differently. So you're looking at everyday life experiences and you're imagining the impact, you're seeing the impact every decision we make. So from courses around business ethics, even the DBTM that we thought was just technology, at the end of the day we were looking at, you know, entrepreneurship. She found a way to mix, you know, to bring entrepreneurship. So that mindset, you know, letting you know that life is really beyond the education that you've come for, and what next after it, and the impact you can make was tremendous.
It has been
All right. Good morning. It's a beautiful Saturday, and I'm happy that you are here with us. My name is Ivade Akpede. A proud alumnus of the Lagos Business School. I was in the Executive MBA program, EMBA 23. That was from 2018 to 2019. I'm happy that you are here. I think we have a good enough number to start. And one thing that we learned at LBS, beyond the books, beyond the academics, was other things, soft skills like time management, being on time. And that's one beautiful thing about LBS. So I'm glad for you to be here with us. I'm glad that you're here with us by now. I see that some of us are very time conscious, which is fantastic, because today is a Saturday. I know we have other things to do after this time with us. So once again, thank you very much for joining us. My name is Ivade Akpede. I'm not here all by myself. I have some very fantastic speakers that are here with us today. What they are going to be doing is sharing from their wealth of experience, really telling us about how this program has helped them, either in their careers or in their business. So without further ado, just before I introduce them, I would just like to be sure that you can actually hear me, and also see this as an opportunity to network. So if in the chat box you can write your name and what you do currently, that would be very beneficial. It would help us, you know, networking, you never can tell. So who knows, somebody may be looking for, and you can also add, by adding what you do, you can find that somebody may have need of whatever it is that you're offering. So we can start off with that, but just so that I'm sure people can hear me, just in the chat box say yes, so that I can continue and be sure I'm not speaking to myself. So very, very glad that you are joining us today. I would please, fantastic. I would please implore the co-speakers to put on their mic. So just to start off with myself, my name is Ivade Akpede. I mentioned that I used to be at LBS and I'm a proud alumnus. What I do is I'm the head of small and medium enterprises at the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. And why public sector? Some people would have maybe wondering, because I spent 8 years in the private sector before going to join the public sector. Why public sector? Because one thing you get to learn at the LBS, Lagos Business School, is that when you learn a lot about impact. So it's not just, you know, business for business sake, or, earning an income for earning an income's sake. So you find that there are lots of things that you get to learn from Lagos Business School that go beyond what it is. So I would really love to share the profiles I have of my panelists, and in no particular order. I would be starting off with, let me see, who do I start off with? Because I'm just trying to, so I have two ladies. I have two ladies and one gentleman. So maybe I should start with the lady, just to make it, since I have two ladies and one gentleman. So maybe I start off with the lady, and then before I go to the one gentleman and then the other lady. So I'll be starting off with Toyin. I'll be starting off with Toyin. So I'm just trying to, please pardon me. I'm just trying to get her profile the way it is so that I don't make any, I'm saying Toyin, apologies, I meant Tokpe, so that I don't make any mistake. Tokpe, please pardon me. So we have Temitope Yusuf. Temitope Yusuf. Hang on. I'm having some network challenges here. Please pardon me. Okay. So Tokpe Yusuf is currently she's a director at IHS Towers. So Temitope is a stellar performer. She has demonstrated consistent academic and professional track record, which includes being a member of an elite team of global reviewers for her previous organization, which happens to be PricewaterhouseCoopers. Just added that. She's an accomplished chartered accountant with a depth of understanding of businesses, governance, controls, and risk environments, having worked with businesses across various sectors. She holds an executive MBA from Lagos Business School, a bachelor's degree in economics from Lagos State University. She also holds a diploma in international financial reporting standards. She's a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria and the Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. She was a serial prize winner of the ICANN exams, including a presidential recognition by the President of Nigeria as the best overall outstanding result during her time. She was inducted into the Beta Gamma Sigma Honor Society for distinguished academic performance during her MBA. Temitope is recognized for her active role in people development, deploying coaching techniques. Temitope worked with PwC for over 16 years straight from university to the position of an associate director before she decided to join IHS Towers in March 2022 in the capacity of Director of Internal Audit and Risk Management for Africa. This is in line with her personal career aspirations. Beyond professional activities, Temitope is an active member of her communities. You see, it's an S, communities, and believes in service to the people. She's the president of her MBA alumni class, vice president of her Estate Resident Association, treasurer of the PTA of her children's school, and a board member of an NGO, the Harvest of Talent Foundation. Temitope speaks French passively and is currently learning Portuguese. She's married with 3 beautiful children. Temitope, how do you find time to do all these things? You're welcome. How do you find time? Please just say hello to everybody.
Hi, Bade. Great to be here. I think this is a wonderful initiative by LBS, by the way. I should say that. How do I find time? Just do what needs to be done. I mean, there needs to be the passion, obviously, but you do what you have to do.
Awesome. I'm so happy. I'm so happy to hear that. So passion is very key. Thank you for sharing of yourself with us today. We are very grateful. Okay, so it's time to go to the gentleman, and the gentleman we have in the house, he has, again, a lot to share with us. He's also very accomplished, and I'm happy to introduce to you Mr. Taiwo Soyonwo. I hope I pronounced it right. He is the Executive Director and Operations Director, so he's wearing two hats at Homerstein Limited. He's actually a co-founder, and so not only is he the Executive Director, he's also a co-founder. He has 10 years experience in training and manpower development in the capacity building space, addressing the gulf between skilled and the unskilled in the oil and gas industry. He's an accomplished engineer with 13 years of engineering project delivery. He has a BSc from the University of Portsmouth, United Kingdom, and a master's in advanced mechanical engineering from the University of Warwick, United Kingdom. So using his engineering skills as a piping designer at the National Engineering and Technical Company, NETCO, which is a subsidiary of the NNPC, and subsequently at Delta Tech Engineering Limited as a pioneer staff, he moved up the ranks to Deputy Chief Engineer. So he has a lot of experience across engineering, and he has executed a lot of projects for lots of blue chip multinational oil companies, the IOCs like ExxonMobil, Chevron Nigeria, Chevron Texaco, Total, ELF, Shell. You see, very fantastic Shell Petroleum Development Company. And he's also involved in new production and oil recovery development, gas lift and water injection, offshore facility, and a lot of fantastic things. And he's achieved a lot. I mean, through his company, they've been able to train over 738 NYC graduates through CSR. They've also trained on technical skills, 187 graduates. He has delivered about 21 projects. Interestingly, it is 100% completion on those projects. And he has foreign technical partners as well. So in terms of travels, he's worked internationally as well. And he's very versatile in what he's done. So I would just like to welcome Taiwo. So thank you very much for joining us today, and we're very glad to have you. So just let the listeners know about you as well.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you for having me. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you too for spending time with us. So how has it? I know we would still go more in details to talk about your experience and everything, but just curious, how has it been running your company with what's going on in Nigeria?
Well, it's tough, but because of the LBS experience, every challenge you see is an opportunity. So the opportunities are now there with the challenges that are before us. So it's turning that into something productive, yeah, and a solution, as well as meeting a need, yeah.
Great. So the next person that I'm going to be introducing today, and by no means the least, is Anastasia Efionwa Akiba Ayo. Wow, so lovely names. I'm sure she would get to tell us about her names as time goes on, because I think they are beautiful names. And she was very insistent. She said, you have to call on my names. So maybe before I read your profile, Anastasia, you maybe just share with us why you like us to call you your names. Don't mind me, just to make it a bit light and not so, how will I explain it now? So Anastasia, do you want to tell us about your names before I introduce you?
Okay, hi, good morning, everyone. I just feel a name is a significant thing in a person's life, and people know you at different stages in your life based on what, like, they know from your background. They may know you by a particular name, then by where you work, they know you by a particular name. So by calling out all your names, I think it sets you on the profile for you to be properly identified. That's why I just use all the names.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. So reading your profile, Efionwa Anastasia Akiba Ayo is a well manager, or should I say drilling manager? Which one is correct now, please?
A drilling manager.
Drilling manager, thank you. With over 18 years in the oil and gas industry. Wow, we have two oil and gas people today, awesome. With experience starting from Rushmore Reviews in Aberdeen, Scotland as a drilling and completions performance engineer. She's worked 14 years in projects with the Shell Petroleum Development Company Nigeria as a well engineering expert with experience in drilling completions, workover, and some other fantastic things, including supply chain management. She is the drilling manager at Watersmith Petroman Oil Limited. She has a first degree in geological sciences from the University of Calabar, a master's degree in oil and gas engineering from the Robert Gordon University, and an MBA from the Lagos Business School, member 7. Just for those that don't know, member means modular executive MBA. She enjoys playwriting and has staged 2 plays, Daybreak and Ekombi, which are based on expressions on societal issues. Well, two different passions. So you have the professional side, which is core science, engineering, and then you have the arts. How are you able to manage, both? Really, I'm interested in that. Please, can you shed light?
Yeah, that kind of creates a balance in the professional, as a professional, from my experience, because as a professional, you're meant to be well balanced so that you can actually express your professionalism in every aspect, such that you can relate to both society, professionals, and even your colleagues at work. Being a professional comes from not only a passion, but an intuitive and inquisitive mind, and also a passion to solve problems, right? And it's that same passion that I use when I do the playwriting, as those 2 plays were from societal issues, and they were written and then also staged on screen. And those created a balance as I move in my profession. So that's where it comes from.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing. So, Temitope, just let us know why did you decide to, so it's going to be a 2-in-1 question. It's going to be, why did you decide to go for an MBA with all of your wealth of experience? You were chartered already and all that. Why an MBA, and why LBS for the MBA? If you can just give us the insights, we'd appreciate that.
Is question for me?
Yes, Temitope.
Great. I have a
Okay, I just need to be sure that the network is fine, because I'm struggling to hear Temitope. Can we hear her?
Can I suggest, Ibade, that you go to the other? Can I suggest that you go to the other panelists and then come back to me? I'm trying to sort out a little network.
Okay, that's fine. So Taiwo, please just let us know why LBS and why an MBA, especially as you already had an MSc.
Okay, thank you, buddy. Well, my story had 2 instances on why I actually chose to come and do an MBA at the end of the day. 30 years ago, when I was much younger, I had an encounter on the NTA program with Patutomi, who was one of the pioneer lecturers of the LBS. And over that program, where he was talking about business and building capacity in the country, I was very, very enthused by what he was talking about and how to achieve that with new business people that come into the space. So that stuck with me 30 years ago. Fast forward to 2018, 5 years into running Homerton Limited, 5 years after deciding to leave the oil and gas profession as an engineer. and become focused in the training and manpower space. We had just survived 2 recessions. Those recessions were early 2014 and late 2016. And it looked dire. It looked dire in the space that we were in. And there was a need to, how will I say it, be exposed with management and business courses to be able to guide and navigate the organization in the right direction. Lofty ideas. The organization was focused on building capacity base in the country. So that occurred in 2018, contacted the LBS by myself and said, do you have any programs that are going on? And they now gave me a date to come in for an excursion, 1-day excursion, and I sat down in that throughout that 1-day excursion, listening to people on the members' aids and the member programs and the MBA programs before. And I decided this program was going to be very, very important for me to be able to move forward to chart the organization I had founded. And it was an interesting encounter with the faculty. I was able to understand that management training was very, very important. I was able to understand that a lot of the issues that have companies not surviving after the 5 years, within the 5-year period, was always due to decision making. And I really wanted to understand and know how to make better decisions moving forward. So that was my main reason to be able to, coming onto the member program, to be able to chart the organization that I had founded and to make better decisions in the space and move it into a successful and established organization.
Great, thank you. Thank you very much for sharing. And I'm sure I can take the liberty of saying that it was a very good decision. Yes or no?
Oh, yes. Most
fantastic.
Most
fantastic. Okay, so just for the benefit of those who are on the call, so that we are going to keep to time. Would also give you opportunity to ask your questions, but you can already start to put them in the chat box so that as they speak, if they need to, they can just respond to your question while they speak. So would appreciate if you can start sharing your questions as we go on. We plan to finish this at 11. Okay, and there'll be opportunities to also learn more about LBS program, the MBA program. All right, so thank you very much once again. Tokpe, are you good to go now?
Yes, Ibadi.
Great. So if you can tell us in 1 minute, we would appreciate that. Why LBS, why MBA? I mean, you're chartered already.
And to be honest, I didn't need it for work.
Exactly.
Or maybe I thought I didn't need it to, let me rephrase that. I didn't need it to progress at work. But an MBA was something I'd always wanted to do. It was always in my plans, in my goals for myself. But the timing just wasn't ever right. So there was work to be done, and working in professional services, it's really hard work, time-consuming work. So I just never found the right time. And then a colleague of mine shared with me the member program at LBS, whereby I saw myself being able to combine work with an MBA and getting it done. So it just felt like the right course for me, or the right school to go at the time, because I could combine it effectively with work, and I could build a network locally that will be very useful to me. So the flexibility, I would say, and then the network, a useful network, were the things that made me go with the LBS MBA.
Awesome. So like I've heard, like, and that's what I usually tell people as well, that if you just want to have an MBA beside your name, then yes, any school can serve, right? Including the online, because some people will say, oh, it's too expensive. Why are you going for the LBS MBA when you can go for a foreign one? First and foremost, I tell people the LBS MBA, we don't compete with any school in Nigeria first. Our competition is global. First, you need to understand that part. And I know the speakers today would agree with me. Then secondly, online MBAs will not give you the sort of network you would get from an LBS. The people who come to LBS, some of them already run their businesses, like we have Taiwo here, some are doing very well in their careers. So who else to network with in Nigeria than professionals who you can see face to face? So just to buttress what you said, Temitope, and I can see the other speakers are nodding their head because they can agree with me that truly you get that from the network. So, but so that I don't speak too long, Anastasia, please just let us know for you in a couple of words, why LBS, why the MBA?
Thanks for the question, Aide. As a well engineering professional, yes, you have your first degree, you have your master's, you have your engineering exposure, as it were. And you use that to solve well operations in the industry. But where I'm coming from, as in my last employment in Shell, we're well trained. I give it to the background in Shell. However, in the course of doing your operations, there is need to come to a point where you're very strategic about certain decisions that you make. And I just thought to myself, okay, what's next? And I thought, okay, fine, I go for something maybe related to project management, because we do a lot of performance management, we do a lot of data analysis, we do a lot of strategic thinking before the actual execution or decision to go on a project. The reason I took the MBA in Lagos Business School was because of the fact that I have exposure to what actually happens in Nigeria. When you go for an overseas MBA, it gives you that exposure, but you cannot actually relate it to what happens here in our country. There are aspects that are maybe far ahead of us, because during the member class, we had the opportunity to go for exchange programs. Like I went to Yale, and if you really look at what is going on overseas, they are well ahead of us. But we need to marry what is going on overseas with what obtains in Nigeria, so we can have a good focus on or have a good traction on how to execute our projects in Nigeria. So one of the reasons I chose LBS was not just the fact that it's going to be an MBA, but an opportunity to address how all this comes together and plays together in Nigeria and how it can be addressed for my profession.
Great, thank you so much. I like the fact that you said, so more or less globally relevant as well as locally relevant. So people will say glocal, right? So yes. So since you've already started on that path about, career and all that, I would just like to know, so still with Anastasia, has the MBA helped you in your career? Is there any specific example you would like to share with us, how the MBA has helped you in your career?
Yeah, the entire structure of the MBA has helped my career in the sense, I'll just mention two courses that I know that relate directly with apart from the finance, that is the CFA. We had data analytics, and then we had project scheduling. And it has impacted my career in the sense that it allowed me to see beyond just making a time schedule for a project, and actually looking beyond that to the people, the equipment, and also the timing. I would just say it might seem a bit simple, when you look at it, but when I went through the course, I realized that there are actually flow processes that could impact your delivery. When I say your delivery, that is planning to execute a drilling campaign, because sometimes you might get excited by data that you may get from the subsurface, but the decision to go ahead and execute that project should come from thorough background analytics and also project scheduling. So those two courses impacted me significantly, in addition to the CFA, where I had to, because I'm an engineer, right? So why am I doing an MBA? What's my business with the accounting? But money plays a big role in the business. You know, it brought to light the fact that I have to be cost conscious, because in the industry, everything is so expensive. When I say expensive, I mean, you could, if you look at our costs, it runs into several millions of dollars, if not going to almost billions. So there's a need for us to have that cost consciousness. So those areas actually brought me back to the fact that these are areas that are important to me, and I have to focus on it, even though I'm an engineer. You know, so going into accounting at the beginning was a struggle, but I had to get into the mix of it, and I got a hang of it, and it has helped me a lot in my current position, where I have to make decisions, especially in spending. And also it has also helped me in performance analysis under the data analytics, and also even IT, introducing certain software systems that actually enable delivery. And also the final one, which I feel is the key one for me, is the project scheduling. And all those areas have impacted my career, and it has assisted in the growth where I am now.
Great. Very interesting. I'll go to Taiwo, because I would like you to take it from, because you run your business, right? So I'm sure some other courses, yes, I'm sure the courses she's spoken about would have been helpful, I believe, but also around the soft skills, you know, and then things around people management, leadership. I don't know if you would, I mean, I'm not boxing you. So if you want to talk about anything else about how it has helped you business-wise, how the MBA, the knowledge you've gained from the MBA has helped you in running your business. But I'm also kind of curious around, you know, the people management side of things, those sort of courses that you would also find at LBS. So Taiwo.
Okay, yes, definitely. I would say that every semester in LBS was revealing. It was, you know, it was taking you further and take you another step into what you were really learning about yourself and what you could actually do as a business owner myself. So from the beginning, from the first course, analysis of business problems, which was an eye-opener. It was an eye-opener. I'll have to say, even our class we had to clap at the end of that intensive week, and we had to give ourselves thumbs up and had to tell ourselves that, yes, definitely, this is where we should be. So from analysis of business problems, that aspect of it was very important to me, because the challenges that we have in the business at different times have to be weighed up and given clear criteria for moving on. So that was a very important course for me. Operations management and operations strategy was also a very important course. Why? Because a lot of what we're trying to do is trying to fit in the niche that we are, to be able to continue to deliver the quality and the service that we have been delivering in 2013, even when costs are an issue. When your client is driving down costs with every single day and every opportunity, you still want to meet that quality. So the cost quality ratio on delivering operations management and operations strategy helped with sort of rejigging our product and helping us to see where we could take out the costs, the high cost areas, and still give the quality delivery to the client. With my staff, that's an area that I'm still learning. I am still learning a lot with that. Human HBO, which is human behavior in organizations, was also a very good course. And I think every CEO or aspiring CEO needs to understand everything on that course. organizational leadership was another important aspect of the member course. And that was focused on me. I'm more of a quiet leader. And I had to understand all the different types of leaders that we had, and then map out who I was and how best I was going to be able to be beneficial to my organization and to moving it forward. Handling my staff and moving them in the direction and the vision of the organization is the most important thing from that course. So that was a key course. The other aspect, as Anastasia has mentioned, the finance courses. We engineers don't really concern ourselves with finance, but we need to know about it, and we need to get to understand every aspect of it. So CFA, CMA, most especially cost management accounting, very important in actually running your own business. So those are the most important aspects of the program that I've had, aside from strategy, which I loved, but I'll talk about that.
All right, thank you. Wow. So, Temitope, would you like to share how, maybe just give us an insight into your career journey, and again, around the MBA, how has that fit into your career journey, and what are the things that you have adopted either in your, where you were working before, where you're working currently? So I'd just like you to take it from the perspective of your career journey.
All right, thanks, Ibadi. So, one of the things I mentioned when you asked me the first question was I did not see the MBA contributing to progression in my career. But from the first day I joined, I realized very clearly that that was a wrong assumption. Going into the MBA, I just wanted to do it because it was on my goals. It was on my to-do. It was on my bucket list, right? But getting into that first class, I realized very clearly that my knowledge was very limited. My experience was limited. I had depth in my experience, but there was no breadth. It was very humbling. Let me say that as a consultant, you think you're an expert, but getting into the first set of classes, I was humbled. So what that did for me was it made me realize that I was too much in a comfort zone. It made me realize that I wasn't doing all I could with my career. And then I got quite uncomfortable being where I was. So I started to itch for something more, just listening to the breadth of knowledge in the room, because the way the LBS MBA is structured is that you hear other people's perspectives. You're constantly discussing cases, constantly discussing people's, how you see things. And you, just from that wealth of experience in the room, there's so much to learn. So I realized that I needed to move. I needed to move. I needed to see things differently. I needed to do more with my career. And even though I didn't go out searching, right, that itch was there. So if you ask me, I would say what the LBS MBA did for me was he helped me to realize my limitations and what I could do about it. Even in terms of managing people, in terms of leading people, there was just so much to learn. So when an opportunity came calling, for me to make a move and do more with my career, I seized it. I grabbed it with both hands because I knew that it was time. It was the right thing to do. I needed to take risk. I needed to expand my horizon. I'm so thankful to the LBS MBA for helping me to open my eyes to that.
Wow, such an inspirational story. Thank you. And I know that is the same for every of our other speakers today. So the modular MBA, because some people will be wondering, oh, the head member, what's really the member about? How is it different? I know we'll still talk about it, but Anastasia, if you can just help us, give us an insight into how your classes were structured. Did you have weekend classes? Did you have weekday? Really, just if you can help us with that, we'll be grateful for that.
Okay, thanks, Aide. Okay, the classes, the modular MBA was like a mix. It was like a hybrid. You have the in-class and then you have the online module. So it kind of suited me perfectly, considering the engagements I have for drilling operations. So what happens in the member is you have a structured portfolio of courses, and then you have the courses, they come in modules. You have online classes, online exercises, that is take-home assignments that you need to complete based on cases prior to a 1 week physical class presence. So 1 week in 2 months, you come into school, and it's very intensive. It's intensive, like from morning till almost 5, or depending on how the class goes. So it's quite intensive. So you have 1 week in 2 months where you are physically present to attend classes. Then offline, you have case histories and assignments that needs to be submitted. And then the beauty of it is that because the assignments are offline, you are allowed to make inquiries, do research, and then complete them. But the best case came when we had the COVID, and it was online. It went online basically. But the fact that we must all come together as a team or as a class to be physically present with your instructor, it gave it a more real feeling rather than just being online and just talking.
Great. Great, thank you. Because that's one beauty again about COVID. I mean, it was bad, but some benefits out of it. For example, in terms of the future of work, people have suddenly realized that they can work from anywhere in the world. And so even for those who may have found it difficult before doing the member, taking that 1 week every, I believe every term, right? So I think you would have had to come 3 times during the year for 1 week each. I understand now that it's only, you don't have to come for every of those weeks for now. You can actually still have the 1 week virtual, that's the intensive virtually. Not everybody has to be there physically. So that's what I understand is going on now. But it's been very fantastic talking to each and every one of you today. Because we are very mindful of time, and we also need to ensure that those on the call have the opportunity to ask questions. We will not be going into much details anymore, but I'll just like our speakers to give us their last words concerning the member program in general. Now I'm being specific on the member because I want to believe that those of us who are on this call today are people who have had at least 7 years of work experience. So you'll be considering either the modular or the executive MBA, which the only difference is that the modular has more virtual, is more of a hybrid than the EMBA. Although the MBA these days, again, because of the future of work, the EMBA and the member, the lines are really blurred these days, and the member starts, the next cohort begins in July. So if you are considering, you can actually start, you can reach out to us. We'll be dropping our email addresses on the chat box so that you can reach out to us with inquiries if you have any, or if you need us to guide you on the process. So I'd just like our speakers to share with us their last words, but please, speakers, you're still going to remain on the call just in case there are specific questions for any of you. So I'll be starting, because the lady spoke, just before me. I would like Taiwo to speak. So any last words or advice for those who are considering the MBA, the executive MBA at Lagos Business School. And in addition, also those that are still on the fence, maybe they are saying, why should I still do the LBS MBA? Why don't I go abroad, or why don't I do it online? So any advice on that?
Okay, I'm going to give my perspective from the learning that the advantage of the learning that you get. Being in the training and manpower space, I understand what LBS is trying to achieve. We're trying to build the next capacity of decision makers and business directors that can grow businesses, start businesses, and even make the businesses that are in the country international. So I'm going to speak from the perspective from the business sense. It definitely makes an impact. If you are running your own business or plan to start running your own business, the member course is flexible. It allows you to run your course, learn, and apply. So the periods of the 2 months in between the lectures, intensive weeks, allows you to take learning into your workplace, into your business, and allows you to see the impact even before you get through the entire program. So I would say definitely for me, it's money well spent. It has improved my thinking. It has improved my outlook. And even though a lot of people are checking out of Nigeria, I'm not checking anywhere. There's a lot of business to be made in Nigeria. And that's what it shows you. It shows you that there are opportunities in the country for you to make an impact, and also for you to be a solution, to be part of the entire solution.
Thank you very much. Sorry about that. Thank you. Temitope, please, can you share with us any parting words, and then we'll go to Anastasia.
Okay. So for me, there's a lot of things, but I'll just pick on two. One is the network. Oh my God, what I would say what I got from LBS is I got a family. I got a family of professionals at the top of their careers, really, or getting to the top of their careers because of this member. Member is people that have some level of experience. So people getting to the top of their careers that I can reach out to at any time for resources, for anything, for support, that is invaluable. For as long as I'm here in Nigeria, that network is second to none. And not just people in my class, I'm part of the BGS community, the Beta Gamma Sigma community. There's a huge network in there as well of people at the top of their careers. There's the entire LBS alumni community. They're everywhere. I get on the plane, I see an LBS member. So that network is great. Secondly, is the return on investment. I've been there, I've done it, I've gained my money back multiple times. So the return on investment is high. It's high. You get immediate value for your money. So those are
Trust an accountant to throw in ROI. You must try enter somehow. So Anastasia, you'll be sharing with us, but I'm also very curious.
But it is true. It is true.
It is true. I can tell you for a fact, because I'm also a product of LBS, and I can tell you that everything that has been said today is very true. But again, sometimes also good to, not like discourage anybody, but Anastasia, and I'm putting you on the hot seat for this one. As you're sharing your advice, right? I would also like you to tell people what they need to do to prepare. Do you understand? What you need to do to prepare so that you will not come and think that you are going to Unilag. Am I allowed to say Unilag for an MBA? Hope nobody comes to fight me. Anyway, my first degree is from Unilag, don't mind me. But what you need to do, how you need to be structured, how you need to plan yourself, let people have some of those real real facts, those hard facts as well.
Ide, thanks for the question. Okay, just first things first, for me, you need to get an MBA, whether you like it or not, at a certain time in your career. Some people might say, oh, it's not necessary, but getting an MBA, like I did the member, and one of the reasons I did the member was the flexibility. First things first, it's expensive. When I say compared to the economic situation where we find ourselves in Nigeria. But if you've made up your mind to do it, you have to pace yourself. You have to come to the point where you say, okay, I'm ready to do it. And you must be real about it so that you don't start the program and you start to struggle for finances. That is the first thing, because you are coming for something that is of good quality. When I say good quality, in Nigeria, right? If I tell you, okay, fine, go and pay for an MBA overseas, you readily look for the value, look for the foreign exchange and pay for it, you know. But now you have something in Nigeria that is going to give you value and even change your overall, number one, your overall perspective of the global economic position and Nigeria relative to that position. That is, if you really care to know, or you are still going to be in this country, and otherwise, if you don't care, you can go wherever you choose to. But if you're going to be in Nigeria, if you're a Nigerian, let me just say, if you're a Nigerian and you are here and you want a different perspective of addressing global issues, coming to LBS will help you. What I want to say is that, yes, you learn from your tutors or the lecturers, the faculty, but the real learning comes from your classmates during the syndicate sessions. In one syndicate session, you have several years of experience in that small room. You do not take it for granted. There are people that they might not speak, but if you get engaged with them, you'll be surprised the level of experience and exposure that you get. So you should get ready for the finances. You should get ready for the perspective you want to get, so that when you're engaging in those syndicate sessions, you know the value you are getting out of those syndicate sessions. They are not sessions just to ensure you are ready for the case history in class. Then you have to plan your time well. For me, it was a struggle because I was running rigs during then in Shell, and I was now on the program. So I now had to schedule myself. That is, all my leave was for LBS. I didn't have any leave throughout my program. So every leave I had, that 1 week, was in LBS. So
how long was your program? Just at that part. How long was it?
Okay, we started in 2018, but because of COVID, we had to, there was a time lag, and it was extended to 2021.
Okay, I think it's usually about 2 years.
2 years, so yeah, 2 years, but there was just a time lag, so it just spilled the beginning of 2021, that was about. So it's 2 years. So have a plan for your finances, have a plan for your perspective, have a plan for the value you want to get out of the program, have a plan for your schedule, that is the time out of work, if you have a very tight schedule, and also your family too, because they will be impacted because you have a lot of assignments. There's a deadline and you always have to meet them. And then above all, just apply yourself, because there'll be certain aspects of the program that you may not be familiar with, and don't underestimate any course, because I know that some people were like, oh, I've done this before, there's no point being here. But when they really look deep, they realized that they were taking it for granted. And it was later they now saw the value and appreciate the entire program. So that's my.
Awesome, thank you. I see that we have one question. Somebody raising their hand already. Chidera, we'll get to you quick soon, but please, I would just like to give everyone just a short overview of the member program. So like I said before, the Modular Executive MBA program member, it gives you the best preparation for an entrepreneurial or management career in Africa and the world, right? So that's very important. And like we've been saying, you need at least 7 years of experience. It's flexible. So it's 60% online and 40% on campus. So the 40% on campus part, because of COVID and the future of work, you can also have that online. We just expect that at least 1 week per year, you should be able to find time to come physically, because again, you need to benefit from that physical engagement with your classmates. It's very important. It usually begins July of every year, and it's for 2 years. There's the intensive session, which is a full-time for like 6 days, Monday to Saturday. That happens once every quarter. And every other thing that you need to know about the program, you can find on the website. So I would also I'll put the link on the chat room. It's mba.lbs.edu.ng/member. It gives you a lot of insights. I've also dropped in the chat. Yes, you will need to write the exam. There's an entrance exam. Good enough. There's an LBS exam that you can write, which of course makes it easy. You don't need to go do GMAT or GRE, but then there will also be interviews. But I can tell you that you can actually walk through those ones without too much hassle. So Chidera, I don't see your hand up anymore. I don't know if you've answered your question, but if not, please can you unmute and you have the floor, Chidera.
All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Can I be heard?
Yes, we can hear you.
Good morning.
Okay, well, what I really wanted to ask you, you have now told us to go to the website and solve through it, then maybe I'll find my answer. Yes, well, I actually believe that it's sacrosanct that they spill the beans, because when Miss Anastasia was speaking, she was telling us about the struggles in the school and everything, but I believe she was not open enough. Like, we want to know like the financial constraints, everything that we need to, because I believe it's a two-year program now. So we need to know how to come prepared. I don't know if you understand. Like, from my own perspective, I need to know how to come. I need to know how things, should I use the word expensive, or how things are. I don't know if you're getting me. Sorry, I'm not.
So I'm going to. So it's about it's a 2-year program, like you said. So it's about 4.3 million per year, and we have instrumental payment plan available, right? You can actually pay in installments, so you should not be worried. You don't need to break the bank. So yes, it's about 8.6 thereabouts, between 8.6 and 8.8. There's an international module, which for now is optional, but like you mentioned, we mentioned, it's also part of it. So there's an international module of $5,000. However, you have the instrumental plan, and the optional module is optional. So have I answered your question?
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Okay. Yes. So any other question, you can also write on the chat room. If we are not able to answer it here, we can send you an email. So good enough, we have your email addresses. So you can still, it's not too late to write on the chat box what your question is. Again, there's a testimonial video that would like you to listen to afterwards, just to give you more insights on it. Sorry, I'm going to try and put somebody on the spot if she does not mind. I don't know her personally, so there's nothing, there's no ulterior motive, but Olufunke Epike, I don't know if I'm getting your name right. Please, I would like to just hear from you, because I like your comments on the chat when you said spot on regarding the impact. LBS changes your outlook from self to impacting others. So do you want to share more around that? I think it's important as well. Then in case, I would respond to your comments on the chat room as Olufunke speaks, if she's in a position to do so.
Okay, thank you, but it actually puts me on the spot.
I'm sorry.
I was shocked to hear my name. I was like, okay, what's she gonna call? All right, so I'm also an alumnus of LBS. Actually the same class with Temitope, so we're members, she's alumni. And so for me, the thing is, people looked at it and you said, you know what, private sector is the place to be. But the truth is, when you talk about making an impact, it's not just at the private sector. When you go into the government sector, it takes courage to be able to go there and say, you know what, I'm going to make a difference.
And that's for me, it's when you're introduced to that, you know what, yes, people might wonder what I'm doing in the private sector, in the public sector, I mean, it's because you're making an impact. And I follow you, so I know a lot of other things that you're doing on the side. So that's what LBS open your minds to. I mean, it's about the broadening the horizon for you. It's no longer about you, me, myself, and my family. It's about the betterment of the community. It's about making an impact. And that's one value that you get from LBS. The other bit is also the vast experience of the people that you get exposed to. I always tell people my class was a very rich class. I have a doctor, a medical doctor in my class. I had a pilot in my class. And so when you're discussing and you're reviewing cases, you get various perspectives that's beyond your own myopic exposure. And so really, 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 LBS is worth a while at the end of the day. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. I mean, how can I thank you, my wonderful speakers today? Temitope, you've been awesome. Just to remind us all, Temitope is a director at internal audit. She's a director of internal audit and risk management at IHS Towers. If you don't mind, Temitope, you can share with us your email address on the chat box so that we can reach out to you if we want to. Taiwo Sonyowo, who is executive and operations director at Homerston Limited, is also a co-founder there. Thank you. How can I thank you enough for sharing your wonderful insights, your rich perspective, and also Anastasia, who is by no means the least. In fact, I have to call your name again. Efionwa Anastasia Akiba Eyo. Again, she's an engineer, but in addition to that, she does stage play. She produces stage play. I mean, you see how she's able to combine different things. So I also thank you very much for helping us to remember and to recognize that if we want to excel, it's important to have an MBA. I like what you said about an MBA being a must. I agree. It's also opened my mind to a lot of things. So please, can we also share our email addresses, Taiwo and Anastasia? And then thank you everyone who has taken time off from their day, this Saturday, in taking time to hear us speak about improving your career trajectory. It's very important, especially as things are, the way they are, but I can assure you that with the LBS MBA, you are a step above the rest, you become a different breed and you're able to excel and exceed expectations irrespective of the economy. So thank you very much once again for today. And I'd just like to hear once more from our speakers. You can unmute yourself, and also those who are on the call, you can also unmute yourself and just let's hear you say thank you. So please join me in thanking our speakers. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
You're most welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. And shout out to our member 6 people on the call.
Oh, fantastic. Anastasia, you were member what, 7, right?
Yes, I was member 7.
Member 7, awesome. And Taiwo?
Member 8, we're yet to graduate.
8, awesome. Awesome. And I'm EMBA 23. So EMBA started many years ago, long before modular was a thing, before hybrid was a thing. So yes, LBS keeps on, improving across all frontiers. So yes, LBS is going ahead of the time. So that's why we have member. So thank you very much for your time, and bye everyone.
Yeah, thanks, Aide.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.